Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ancestral Archetypes version 1.2.0 Spotlight. We have some exciting changes to present to you all. We have many reworks, pretty much across the board buffs, and 2 new archetypes to show off. So, we will jump right into it. We're going to start off just going through the archetypes here, and we're going to start with the Aquarians, because these were arguably the weakest archetypes. And so there have been some across-the-board reworks with how the Aquarians work. And so we're going to start off with the Axolotl, because that received the least changes out of all of them. And so the major change is the Dries Out debuff will now be canceled out if you have a Turtle Master helmet on. So if we choose this, get ourselves a turtle shell helmet, and we equip this, we can see here that we are not dying. And if we take this off now, we can see that we do start taking the environmental damage. So, keeping this on, and I guess that some ghost items. Yeah. So keeping this on here will now mean that we don't take damage. I'm gonna turn my inventory HUD off for this, actually. Alright, yeah, so that is the first major change. So now Aquarians are no longer locked from going into the Nether without being able to get like a fire res potion and all that, or having to like eat a enchanted golden apple, or killing a witch under the specific circumstances in which they drop a fire res potion. That's something you no longer have to worry about. Just get yourself a turtle shell. Alright. We'll keep that on as we go to our next big change is the Salmon. This was definitely the weakest archetype in the whole mod here. And so what has happened to the Salmons and the Axolotls and, well, the other Aquarians in general, is that we get Slippery now, which means we get Resistance 1 in water and the rain here. So if we hop in our water, we get Resistance 1 here, in addition to our conduit power. And so we have this on, that gives us water breathing for 2 seconds. But when that runs out, we'll have our nice water breathing here, or conduit power. And so, as we know, we don't really mine very fast underwater as an Axolotl, but we do get the increased move speed here. So we can actually go move over to the river. Now I'll turn on my HUD here so we can see our speed stat. That will be pretty useful here. So in the water, we move at 4.3 meters per second. And if I change my archetype to none real quick, you can see that that slows down to 1.9 for normal movement speed. So you still get your extra move speed when you're in the water. And now if we go to Salmon, you can see that the Great Swimmer and the Good Swimmer buffs have been separated. So you have the Good Swimmer, which gives you that conduit power, the lesser aqua affinity, depth strider, and movement speed, all that. But the Great Swimmer basically enhances both Good Swimmer and Slippery. So now as a Salmon, we can see we're moving at 5.39 meters per second. And we have Resistance 2. And this also happens when it's raining as well. We're kind of in a savanna right now, so I can't really show that, but if I move all the way here, we swim real fast. And the salmons can still kind of break pretty freely underwater. And they no longer get the Dolphin's Grace, since that was a bit cumbersome as far as like movement ability goes. So now it's just a flat water movement speed buff. So if we weather rain here, we keep our move speed, so now we're moving at 7 meters per second here, and we have the resistance to staying. So if we weather clear, you can see that our move speed will drop again once this runs out. Now we're back down to 5.6 of our running speed. And with that, we can check out the new Aquarian archetype, the Guardian. So the Guardian here has the standard slippery, impale vulnerability that dries out, the good swimmer. But they also, on top of that, have Thorny, where you reflect some of the damage taken. This is a percentage that is configurable. It's set to 1/3 of the damage taken by default. and you get a powerful Guardian Ray. So when you select that, you're going to get this item, the Guardian Ray, and you're going to charge it up over time, and if you stop using it before it finishes its charge, you don't get any cooldown. But we're going to charge this up all the way. And now we start lasering things, and we can kill those squid. And so it has a range of 25 blocks, so that squid was just barely out of range, but we saw that we melted the fish pretty quickly. And the cooldown is configurable, the duration of the beam is configurable, and the damage of the beam is configurable. So we can hit the squid again, since the cooldown is pretty short by default. And there goes salmon and all that. And this will pierce shields as well. It does the standard indirect magic attack that Guardians do. So it will bypass a bit of armor. And it will also pierce through shields, so it can only be blocked by terrain. And if we go over here, I'm going to have my alt hit me a bit. I'm going to take out a sword. And let me get them in. Actually, you know, it'd be better if I swap this around. So I'm going to types, set archetype my alt to Guardian. And I'm going to give them Turtle Shell. And then set to Survival. So now when I attack with the Stone Sword here, you can see we took some of that damage back. And if we crit, I guess that's about the same damage. But it will be a third of the damage that we do. You can see we did all but one half heart, and we took about that in damage. Alright, so that is the Guardian, and now next up we're going to move on to some changes to the Infernal class. So we can see the Infernal and the formerly Gelatian class has been kind of reorganized a bit. So now the Gelatian class is now the Swamper class, so the Witch has been moved over into the Swamper, and the Magma Cube has been moved into the Infernal class. So the Blaze has been pretty much unaffected. There were some changes to the Slow Faller that we will get to, but other than that, no changes to Blaze. The Magma Cube here has the same abilities that it had before, it's just been reorganized. And now there's been some changes to its size ability. So it has this new renamed ability called the Magma Totem, where fatal damage reduces your size and health twice per life. So the Magma Cubes get the same 2 lives that the Slimes only had before. But now you can also eat a Magma Cream to regrow your size. So we're going to try that out. I'm going to get some Magma Cream. Just hold that in my inventory. And I'm going to die. I'll get killed here. So now we went down a size. See, we're nice and tiny. So now if we start eating this Magma Cream, well, I should hover over it first. We can now see we can consume this Magma Cream for 25 seconds to regrow 1 size. So if we start doing that, and keep eating, and keep eating, and we just keep on munching, and we keep going. There we go. All right, we are back to full size now. So if we were down to the tiniest size, that would get us up to the middle size. Some golden carrots. Alright, so that was the only major change to the Magma Cube, is that now you can regrow without fully dying. So next up, we have the Wither Skeleton, the new Infernal class. So, our Wither Skeleton here has the same fire immune and damage by cold abilities. So if we click this, let me show off the other abilities now that the Magma Cream text is gone. So we are now tall size. We are 2.5 blocks tall. So this does not come with any health increase or decrease like the other size modifications. However, it does come with withering. So we are now immune to wither, and we can apply wither with our melee strikes. So if I head over to this flower here, and I just stand here, it does not bother me at all. And if I summon a pig, I have this pig here. Now this pig is withered for a few seconds. So we chase the pig around, and it took an extra 3 ticks of wither damage. That's 3 half hearts. That's a pretty good ability just to get some free extra damage, and also, immune to wither, so good for fighting withers and getting wither skeleton skulls. However, of course, this does mean that we no longer fit under the normal 2-block gap. Kind of just hit our head here, and it's a little bit unfortunate. So next up, we have the new kind of Swamper class here. So Swampy Archetypes are now empowered by the moon and immune to poison. So I'm going to go to the slime first, actually. So we have the same change to the slime totem that we had to the magma totem ability. It's just that you use slime instead of magma cream to regrow. However, we have the 2 new abilities for the Swamper class, which is Anti-Venom, where you are just fully immune to the poison effect, and Moonlit, where fuller moons will increase the health of you as a slime. So we choose this here, and if we time set midnight, so if we look up, it is a full moon right now. And so we can see we have double our max health. And so if we click this, set the time, we're going to advance 1 day, we can see the moon is a little less full, and we have a little less max health. And we can just keep doing that as it goes half, and a crescent, and then a new moon gives you no benefit, and then you start getting it back a bit as it regrows in size. And that will apply to your smaller sizes as well. So if we get killed real quick, now if we go down, you can see we have normal health here as a smaller slime because it's a full moon, but as it goes down, we're going to lose more and more and more of our health. So if we die again, we go back, and as it grows, we're going to get more and more of our health back here. Here's a zombie somewhere. Ooh. That's a problem. Run! Better get some health back here real quick. Oh, that's a creeper too. Great, great, great. Okay. So, we're going to set it back to noon. That is now the new Swamper class, and we're going to go to the Witch now, which has the same Potion Brewer ability, and instead of having the Infernal traits, it has the Swamper traits. And the moon effects on the Witch are on your portable cauldron. So you can see we have a lot more options now than we did before. We have a whole 7 extra options, as well as the ability to now toggle between splash potions and normal potions. So I'm actually going to set it back tonight because, as we can see, it is a full moon, so we have the full array of potions at our disposal. However, if we go down to a new moon, you can see here that a lot of these potions are locked. So it'll tell you that some of these potions are locked until a crescent moon, or a full moon, or a quarter moon, and then also that some of these potions will upgrade on a quarter moon or a crescent moon. So you have some basic low duration potions available to start out. So these are like your 3-minute potions, pretty standard stuff. Nothing too strong, instant health 1 and things like that. You also have a water bottle available. This is mostly for like splash purposes, just because sometimes splash water bottles have, the ability to put you out of fire in a pinch. as well as like extinguishing campfires and things like that, so I thought I would add it in. And so if we can also toggle it to the splash mode, and that has no effect on whether you're able to use it or not, but it will have the effect of the cooldown multiplier, since splash potions will give a longer cooldown than normal potions. So we can advance that a bit. We can see we have more potions unlocked, like we have Turtle Master now, and some of these potions are going to start upgrading. So if we go again, we can see that some of these potions are upgraded even more. And then if we go again, we have potions that are even more powerful that are available to us. And then at a full moon, we have the full array of potions available. We can switch between those as well. And if you don't select a potion anymore, it will leave your cauldron empty. So if you had one potion available before and you started using it, but then you're like, oh, let me change my mind real quick, you can't go back to drinking that potion. You have a way to kind of reset your cauldron pretty quickly. Also, if you have a potion selected that is no longer available, so if I do this, and then I start changing the moon, when we go to use this, oh, maybe that was still available, hold on. Yeah, sorry, the lingering potion was still available. Okay, we go down to the new moon. That should be a bug then. Then I'll fix that. You're not supposed to be able to use a potion that you don't have unlocked at the current moon phase. So that will be fixed pretty quickly by the time this is uploaded. And so that is the new witch. Next up, we have some changes to... Let's first set the time again. We have some changes to the slow faller ability. So I'm actually going to go to... yeah, we'll go to the breeze for this. So we have our normal jumpiness. I can take this off now. And so now, usually before, if you were just like doing any big jumps or something like that, it would activate the slow faller ability, but now it will not activate when you are in water, so you can be swimming around pretty freely, like downwards and all that, and it won't activate slow fall. And it will also not activate unless you are about to fall a distance of which you would take fall damage from. So if I jumped here, now it's going to activate, and it's going to even slow my velocity a little bit as I'm falling down. So I can jump up like this, and then as soon as I start moving down, it's like, okay, I'm in a dangerous situation. It's going to activate the slow fall. And it also will not activate if I'm sneaking. So if I sneak here and then jump all the way up, it does not activate at all. But I didn't take fall damage there because it's a wind charge. But if I come all the way up here, and I don't sneak, I take the fall damage. That's a way to kind of turn it off if you want to fall all the way down. So I can do that and then kind of unshift halfway through, and it will slow me at the last second. But if it, if I unsneak too late, it won't activate because then I'll be within like the safe range. If I do that and then that, like unsneak at the end there, you still take the fall damage. Also, the soft hitter, the default reduction has been reduced to now you only deal 15% less damage instead of 50. So that should give you a bit more melee options there. So if we go to the Parrot, the glider wings have been changed to a kind of a stamina system. So if I equip these, I can first have them available to me just on my back all the time without activating the timer. Because now, you will only start taking durability damage or like stamina as you're moving. So I glide down, so then it will pick up stamina and then put the wings on a short cooldown, and then you can see on the bottom there, we're regaining durability on our wings, we're getting that stamina back. The default rate is that you will spend 10 times more energy gliding per second than regenning per second. If that makes any sense. So like the ratio is 0.0 or 0.1 right now. So for every second spent gliding, you have to spend 10 seconds not gliding to gain that energy back. And so as you can see, it puts it on a short cooldown, so you can't like spam the wings. So it's good to kind of just use for like medium length bursts here. I can, use my rocket and fly around. And then I stop, and the wings are on cooldown, and I can't rocket at all, and my slow falling will activate again. Then it comes back, and I can glide over. And so, the next ability here, we have some changes. The Copper Golem is relatively unchanged. I don't think I changed anything on the Copper Golem aside from the soft hitter ability. And then we go to the Tuff Golem here, and we have some changes with the Tuff Golem foods. So now, basically all of the Tuff Golem foods had a increase in the amount that they heal, and a decrease in the amount that they take to time to heal. So it's probably one of the better like golem foods available compared to the copper one and the iron one, where the iron ones like heal you a lot, but they take a while to eat, and then the copper ones where you have to oxidize it in order to get to a spot where it's like a good food. This you can just mine out of the ground. None of the foods here heal a whole lot, so you still eat a lot more than the other golems. However, because the duration is short and the healing is increased, you can heal pretty quickly compared to the other two. And then the Iron Golem had a small change, so now you just get some extra reach, which is nice when you're this big size. You kind of can reach onto the ground a bit easier. It's nothing too major, it's a block and a half, so, we get a little bit of extra reach, which is pretty nice. So going on to the Felid class, the Ocelot was pretty fine. I got a minor buff in Speedy, so instead of it being a speed effect, it is now a speed attribute, so you can have a lot more fine control over the speed, so now there's a configuration for that. The speed that is set by default is between what speed 1 and speed 2 the effects will give you. So it's a minor buff in that regard because it was speed 1 before. And so the cat has been buffed in that it also gets the speedy attribute, and it also now is sneaky, which means you move faster while sneaking. So this is about twice the normal sneaking speed, so we can see 2.4, and if I change my archetype to nothing, it's 1.2. So you are definitely speedier, and this does stack with Swift Sneak. Lastly, we have the changes to the Centaur classes. The major one is Startled, where the slowness effect that you get no longer activates on damage over time effects, so we can see we're not getting slowed there. So anything that is like a damage over time, like fire or lava or things like that, will no longer activate Startled, and any damage that is less than half a heart will no longer activate Startled. So this will, and you see we get slowed for a second, and like normal melee hits will slow us here. You can see we got the slowness effect briefly. And then the last change is that mounts, or the horse mount now has a 2-block step height, so we can kind of just scale this whole tree like instantly. And that's pretty nice to combo with the added speed that it has just by being a good horse. And also there has been a bit of a tweak in that you can no longer activate the horse while you are falling. So if we jump off here, we have to wait until we're on the ground, so you can't really horse MLG anymore. Like, you could summon your horse at the top of a place and then push it down and then, like, MLG onto it. Because that, like, takes some amount of skill, so I can push the horse off here and then, hop onto it. But I can't just, like, right-click to save myself from fall damage anymore. And the donkey got a similar buff to the step height of its mount, but it is not 2 blocks, it is 1.75, so like I can't just straight go up this, but if this were a half slab here, it would be able to jump up that just fine. And that is it for all of the changes in 1.2.0. There's a whole bunch of added configuration commands, which are on the GitHub README page, which you can look through and configure all of that nice stuff. And have fun, and thanks so much for watching.